week on Cinematic Motif, we continue our chat with Albert Yao, the chairperson of Swallow Wings Film, one of Taiwan's leading distributors of European cinema. Albert would share some cases of box office miracles, and he would also talk about what keeps him passionate about European films and the industry. Stay tuned, it's an inside look at how world cinema finds its wings in Taiwan. Hey, come on! The screening is about to begin! This is Cinematic Motif. Hello and welcome back to Cinematic Motif. I'm wanson. This is a show where I introduce you films in Taiwan and around the world. Alright, so Albert, let's pick up from where we stopped last week. I'm also wondering, with all these films that you have acquired from Europe, they are, as we mentioned at the very start of our discussion, it's not the priority of Taiwanese audience, habits of watching films. So, do you have any miracle in your releasing history that blew everyone's mind? Like, this one is probably not the film that you originally thought that would be a big one, but then the box office numbers was huge. Is there a case that you can share with us, and how did you make that happen?
Before answering the example from our lineup, I would also like to mention that actually many cases of the surprise success story
Successful
is actually kind of from the projects that when it was a project stage that people didn't really expect it. For example, La La Land was also not something people really expected would be a huge one. I think even The Devil Wears Prada in the beginning, they didn't expect that also. So I feel
there's an unpredictability of film projects, right?
So it's always interesting to see the result, because everybody didn't expect something that will be successful. And I feel it's also quite interesting situation in the film business. You never know which directors might pop out, become the director of the year, or the film of the year. For the Swallow Wings lineup's case, and we have a film. I remember Powell was here.
Yes.
Before it's a film.
Yeah, for the listeners, Powell Choning Doji, Bhutanese director.
Yeah.
Who, he actually has he has already done 2 titles, and they were both released by Swallow Wings, right?
Yes, and the first one is called Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom. And it was a surprise for me. I didn't expect it will be in the end. I think it was like one of the at least top 5 of, besides Taiwanese films.
Yes.
That was succeeding on the market.
I have to say it was so successful that I was a high school student back in the time, and all of the teachers in my high school, they were talking about this film. I would say, okay, this might sound a little bit impolite, but it's like a film out from the middle of nowhere. Like, people didn't know that, wow, there is a film from Bhutan. And it's so relatable that all the teachers and educators in our country, they're all talking about these films. So it's cool.
But actually, when I watched the film during the marketing process, during the campaign for the film, that we need to do the screenings and to do the press screenings and previews to invite different opinion leaders and also all kind of audience. And I was worried about
the number.
And also if they will fail asleep because the film is actually not very it's kind of slow in a way. So I'm very surprised that lots of people, they feel very touched by the film, and also they really love the story. And for Paul, I believe it's also a miracle for him. It's a small films that was shot in a very remote place, even in Bhutan. And then it went to
Oscars. End up in Oscars.
So it's like a surprise for everybody and also for the film crew. And for us, the film was released in 2020, so it is the year of the beginning of the COVID. But because in Taiwan, the first year is quite
Yeah, there wasn't that sort of pandemic vibe here in Taiwan. So
there's like not many film was in cinema,
right?
But people, they are all stuck in Taiwan.
Yeah, and they need some other films. They need new films. They needed new films to watch. And Lunana became an option for a lot of people, and it went huge.
Yeah,
right?
so
that was a miracle.
Yeah. That is.
But before our interview, we were also discussing about two of the films that we actually discussed on Cinematic Motif, and Albert and I, we were talking about Robot Dreams, which is a Spanish animated films, and then also the other one is Flow, the other animated features released earlier this year, which was also huge here in Taiwan. These are also miracles, but not from your company. They are European films. Miracles here in Taiwan. We didn't know that European animated films could be huge.
Flow is actually not just a surprise for Taiwan, but
all over the world.
Yeah, because I remember when I talked to the sales agent who picked up the film, they also didn't expect the film will be a huge success, and the film also won the Oscar, which is rare. Normally, Oscar, the best animated features usually goes to the studio titles, like that year you have the Inside Out 2.
Or Miyazaki's Studio Ghibli in Japan. Usually these big companies, right?
But even Ghibli's film, the film from Ghibli Studio, they didn't travel to Oscar every time. So I feel Flow is quite a good thing for the independent animation. For Robot Dreams, it's also the other case that I feel maybe, especially for East Asia, is a huge film, but in European
market,
it's like nice festival titles. But I'm glad that the Taiwanese audience like these two films. I feel it will give more confidence
for the distributors to
acquire these films.
Do you have a healthy market? Like, is your company still working well? Like, I heard the distributor of the Flow, he was talking about like a few years back, the company was about to like fall apart, and then somehow they still survive. So is the market still like it's still there, right?
Oh, you mean for European films?
Yes, European films.
I have to say we have fierce competition between distributors, but the market is limited.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the competition, there's also too many choices for the audience. They can stay at home to watch Netflix.
Yes.
They can go to during weekend. They can have different pleasure things to do, not necessary to go to cinema to watch a film. So it is a challenging time for releasing a film, not just European film, but I feel like in general for all kinds of films. Yeah.
And now moving on to something more personal. Okay, it's not that kind of personal, but like Albert, I know that aside from distribution, you also work across different roles, such as acquisition. That's part of your job. You also do sales for Taiwanese films, bringing Taiwanese films to other countries, and then also you've participated in production sometimes these years. So which of these roles is your favorite one?
I feel doing sales is something that I feel quite challenging, but also
I think it's interesting, right? You get to bring Taiwanese stories to international, actually distributors from other countries.
But it's actually I feel like it's actually always tough for the sales. Because buying it's not easy, but it looks a little bit easier.
I know. You just like write a number. Okay, I'm gonna buy it for some, like how much I'm going to pay for that, right?
But it's not true. It's not like that. But because from the cinephiles or from the general audience, they feel like, oh yeah, your job is just to write a number and then to make offer and then watch films and traveling to so many countries and have fun. But actually, it is like a very opposite situation. For me, I'm always like very stressful to watch lots of films in a very short of a period because in the festival it's only many days. Having you been Cannes, so
you have to make decisions really fast, right? Yeah. Within that, for example, for Cannes Film Festival, within that 2 weeks, all the distributors are going to decide which films they're going to buy. So it's a very stressful environment for you, right?
Yeah, and also I feel it's also stressful when you're doing sales. Last year I have on our sales lineup we have a horror film.
Yeah,
and horror film is actually more popular than art house films because before I'm doing more art house films even on our sales lineup and nobody really asking like for the screener link. But when I have a horror film, and many people approach to me and to request that. And on the sales part, it's also another job where you need to find distributors, which is the opposite role.
Right.
And how do you find
the distributors?
Yeah, and also to have higher offers. And
you need to tell them that this film is huge. You have to pay more.
But I'm also a buyer, so I know the pain for the buyers because now it is not a good market for theatrical release.
Right.
So this year I bumped into the other sales agent who's selling films to me, and I tell them like I can feel the pain for the sales agent because they need to sell the films to me, and sometimes we might not be able to always watch films and focus on acquisitions. So yeah, I mean, I feel both roles for me is interesting, and for production it's the other kind of experience. But I would still say buying films maybe. But they are all stressful.
Right, it's not just about traveling and having fun. Okay, so finally, connecting to the previous question, what is the motivation that keeps you in this industry? Is it traveling or not?
When you're doing traveling like over 10 years, you want to stay in Taiwan.
Okay. No, I need to tell our listeners. So Albert has repeatedly talked about his favorite food in Europe. That is, I guess that's the apple pie in Amsterdam. Yeah. So I guess it's a good job. Maybe it's part of the motivation of like keeping you in the industry so that you can travel to Amsterdam each and every year to get that favorite dessert.
I didn't expect we were talking about apple pie. But yes, if you
love apple pie,
if you travel to Europe and you're transferring Amsterdam, then I highly recommend to go out from the airport and to take a 20 minutes train to the city center and to buy the apple pie.
Yes.
And that one is really a nice one. And now it is like a long lines for buying the apple pie.
Yeah, because you've attracted a lot of tourists.
Not me, but
perhaps you talked about the apple pie everywhere. Like.
Yeah, but I mean, besides the apple pie, I mean, because every year you are still able to watch many films, and some of films that is really good that you still feel inspired or feel you really like the directors or like the performance from the actors or from just in general the film. And I feel that there's also the motivation to still introduce like a good films to the audience, and you will feel very grateful to meet these talents and to have a chance to represent this film in Taiwan and to introduce these films. I feel it's quite a privilege for us to do that. So I feel even like over almost 15 years already, I still feel quite exciting to exploring what upcoming title they might surprise us. And I think it's still important to discover the new films every year.
Yeah, and speaking of discovering new films each and every year, what are some of the new release from Swallow Wings that you have discovered for us and we can go there and watch in the cinemas recently? Any good recommendations?
In Taiwan now we have the Glory of Life, which I prepared.
This is a very, very cute. Okay, so if you're
Because if you just listen to podcasts, you didn't see what we are doing now. So.
Yeah, but if you go to my or RTI English Instagram account, you would see that we are holding the card, The Glory of Life. It's a story of Franz Kafka, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about the last chapter of his life when he met his lover, and also how he deal with his work. And now it is in cinema. The directors, they are German directors, and they have been to the Oscar shortlist before. The film was called Two Lives, so it is a new film. After 12 years, they have the Glory of Life.
Yes.
And the other film will be Parthenope, which is directed by Paolo Sorrentino.
Yes.
And the film was in Cannes competition last year. And Saint Laurent was also involved in the film production.
Oh, the luxury brand, Saint Laurent.
They also involved in Emilia Paris. They have these two films. So this film will be releasing the end of October, which I highly recommend. If you watch any Paolo Sorrentino's film, then you know the cinematography was really breathtaking. And also we have Tune In, which is related to you.
Yes, okay, our listeners at RTI, yes, the film Tune In, or 新来的小朋友 in Mandarin Chinese, it was partly shot in RTI studio, which is like just a few steps away from where we are recording right now. Yeah, and you get to see RTI studio, so it's a good chance for you to see that film, Tune In, right? Yeah, it's a story about the second generation of Indonesian immigrants here in Taiwan, which is a very touching story. All right, so Albert, thank you so much for your time today, talking about some of like insiders of film distributions and also European films here in Taiwan. So thank you so much today.
Yeah, thank you.
Alright, so generally I would say please do go to cinemas and support these different distributors who are distributing these very, very diverse European films here in Taiwan. These are really a really precious thing in our Taiwanese market.
The sun is nearly gone.
And at the end of the show today, I'm going to play you a track I love so much. This is A Lovely Night from the original soundtrack of La La Land, 越来越爱你. I hope you all have a lovely night, and perhaps you can go to a cinema and pick a film, an European one, to enjoy it and maybe get a little sense of what these films that are different from Hollywood would look like. And that's all for today's Cinematic Motif. I'm Wanson. As always, if you've got anything that you want to share with me, please send your email to wanson@rti.org.tw. You can also find me on Instagram and YouTube. My handle is at wansonscafe. And I'll see you next week on Radio Taiwan International. Until then.
This could never be. You're not the type for me. And there's not a spark inside. What a waste of a lovely night.
You say there's nothing here, well let's make something clear. I think I'll be the one to make that call.
But you'll call.
And though you look so cute in your polyester suit,
it's wool.
You're right, I'd never fall for you at all. And maybe this appeals to someone not in heels, or to any girl who feels there's some chance, the romance, but I'm frankly feeling nothing.
Is that so?
Or it could be less than nothing.
Good to know, so you agree.
That's right. What a waste of a lovely night.